Here we are, the summation of all Castrol's research and testing, HYSPEC. But before we come on to what HYSPEC is, let's quickly recap everything we've learned to get us here with the aid of this beautiful model. Now, James, Castrol has been working with hybrids for over 25 years, researching, testing and reporting, right from the very first commercially available hybrid.
That's right. We've done an enormous amount of testing, accumulating thousands of hours on engine tests, on vehicle tests, and also in the lab. We've conducted a 10-car field trial where we accumulated 300,000 kilometres and we produced over 2 billion data points for analysis. We're also continuing our testing and we're developing new engine tests and additional field trials to learn even more about hybrid operation. We work also with our OEM partners and we're working to provide solutions to their challenges, but at the same time we take the learnings from that and we put it into the refinement of our own products. All of this means that we really understand hybrids and we really know their operating characteristics. One of the key characteristics is the link between the intermittent use of the internal combustion engine and the average engine oil temperatures, and they are reduced. And that can have a significant impact on the operation of the engine oil within the engine.
Okay, so based on this work, you've identified 3 factors that impact hybrid operation: contamination, engine intermittency and system efficiency.
Yeah, that's right. So if we look at the model, engine contaminants is derived from the fact that you've got switching between the engine and the electric motor. And that can result in lower average oil temperatures.
Okay.
And that can cause the introduction of water and fuel contamination into the oil. Engine intermittency is again about that switching between the engine, the use of the engine and the electric motor. But here, it's the fact that the engine might have to speed up very rapidly from slow speed to high speed, and you need an oil that can keep up and maintain protection. So for system efficiency, it's all about the fact that the engine contributes not only to the driving of the vehicle, but also to recharging the battery. And with cooler engine oil temperatures, that can have a knock-on impact on the efficiency of both of those things. And your engine oil is relied upon to deliver both driving efficiency and also charging efficiency. So based on all of our testing, we realised that hybrids operate differently to internal combustion engine only vehicles. We wanted to know that our products were able to withstand the tough operating characteristics within hybrids, and also to give the kind of assurance to our customers. We decided that we wanted to develop a new technical standard, and that is HYSPEC. So HYSPEC is a benchmark against which we want to compare our oils for their ability to operate in hybrid conditions. We've used it to prove the capability of our oils to operate in hybrid engines, and we've done so against the 3 critical factors to hybrids.
Okay, so everything we know about hybrids goes into defining the HYSPEC technical standard.
That's right. So the standard is built from 15 industry tests and our own bespoke test. We've weighted the standard towards industry tests from ASEA and API because these specifications, they contain tests which are relevant to hybrid conditions that we see out in the field. We have taken the tests and we've bucketed them into the 3 critical factors: the engine intermittency, the system efficiency, and the contaminants. So in the contaminants bucket, we've included the E85 emulsion stability test. And that test looks at the ability of the oil to form and maintain an emulsion of the oil, water, and fuel. And this is really important because in hybrids, that's a common set of conditions. If you don't maintain an emulsion and free water emerges, that can compromise the oil's ability to protect your engine. And then also in colder climates, you could see the formation of ice. And that can block the pickup and cause starvation to the engine. So in the engine intermittency bucket, we've included wear tests. Wear tests look at the areas of an engine where you're likely to get wear, such as the valve train. And it puts the oil into conditions where accelerated wear is most likely to happen. These sorts of conditions are frequent changes of engine speed at suboptimal temperatures, and these are conditions we associate with hybrid operation. A really good example of this sort of test is the Sequence 4B test, which spans API and ASEA specifications, and it's a great representation of the sorts of conditions you see within a hybrid. System efficiency represents the challenges that an engine oil has in maintaining the hybrid vehicle's overall efficiency. We use fuel economy tests to represent this, because fuel economy is really important to both driving the car and also maintaining the charge within the battery. And there are fuel economy tests which span the industry specifications, and some of those even look at the oil's ability to maintain fuel economy after multiple hours of aging.
And what about the bespoke test?
So in the bespoke test, we evaluate the oil's ability to handle large levels of water contamination. In a carefully designed and controlled tribological test, we intentionally meter in a large contamination of water. And what this can do is it can disrupt the additives that are present within the formulation of the oil. So as the water gets dialed into the chamber, you start to get that water mixing with the oil. And the water itself can disrupt some of those additives that are there to protect the surfaces and form a film between the two mating components. With the water contamination, it really tests those additives within the formulation, and that's where you can then start to see friction and wear. So the test is really evaluating the ability of the oil to still maintain that protection, even with large levels of contaminants. So that's the specification, the combination of the 15 industry tests and the bespoke test as well.
Okay, so just let me stop you there for a sec, James, because you've mentioned industry specifications quite a lot, so I think it's worth me explaining what they are and why they're so important. So, industry specifications require engine oils to run a series of standard test methods. A typical specification may require approximately 8 engine tests and 15 bench tests. Now, each and every test has a required limit that you must meet or exceed to pass. Without a pass in every single one of the tests, the specification cannot be claimed by the oil.
And that applies to the bespoke test too. We set our baseline on a product that has completed many, many miles of operation out in the field in hybrid engine. So a product labelled with the HYSPEC logo has demonstrated 25% benefit across the industry requirements in the 3 factors of contaminants, engine intermittency, and system efficiency.
Wow, okay, so the HYSPEC products, they all exceed the industry specifications by at least 25%. So all of our customers can be super confident that the HYSPEC product's going to work really well in their hybrid engines.
That's right. So any product with the HYSPEC logo has demonstrated its ability to handle contaminants of water and fuel. It's performed in industry standard wear tests to demonstrate its ability to maintain the condition of engine components during hybrid conditions. And it's also performed in fuel economy tests, which look at the ability of the oil to maintain the engine's efficiency.
Okay, so James, what about motorsport? Castrol's has a long and deep involvement with motorsport. How has that influenced and helped the design of HYSPEC?
So both World Rally Championship and Formula One have very recently used hybrid technology. In fact, for 2026, Formula One is increasing their level of hybridization of the power unit. We have a very recent history in the development of engine oils for Formula One, and we have a really exciting future in it too. We have designed an engine oil which is bespoke to that engine and is fully designed to improve the efficiency and generate maximum power from the engine. That process to design that oil requires continuous testing, redevelopment and refinement of that formulation. And our latest paper shows that we go to the same level of detail when it comes to understanding the impact of on-road hybrid engine oil formulations on engine efficiency. So the Formula One car uses energy recovery systems to take waste energy and use it to charge the battery. It does that in 2 locations. So the first is in the kinetic energy recovery from the braking, and then the second is in the waste energy from the car's exhaust. So the capture and release of the waste energy in the Formula One power unit is a vital part of the team's strategy, and use of that strategy can define whether or not a team has success in any given race. So Formula One technology has a trickle-down effect, which means that some of the technology from Formula One can end up on road cars. And at Castrol, we have a specific example of this in the development of a MGUK cooling fluid for Formula One. That fluid has started to find its way onto road cars in use for battery cooling.
Okay, so Castrol are remaining deeply involved with Formula One, and in the lead up to 2026, there's some big regulation changes coming, and actually a generational shift in the power that's generated from the internal combustion engine and the electric motor.
2026 is going to see a real big change for Formula One. First thing is the shift in the level of hybridization. The electric motor portion of the drive is going from approximately 15% of the power unit coming from the electric motor to 50%. The second thing is the development of a fully sustainable race fuel. Now, the BP Castrol Motorsport team has been developing Formula One race fuels for a number of years, but switching that to a fully sustainable formulation represents a pretty significant challenge, but one that I know the team is very capable of delivering on. So by working with Motorsport, we get to work at the pinnacle of automotive technology. And with the fully sustainable race fuel, We know from our testing on hybrids that unburnt fuel can find its way into the engine oil. So it'd be fascinating to see the impact that fully sustainable fuel formulations can have on hybrid engine oils in the future.
Okay, wow. So we're working with the most advanced hybrids in the world. We're working with new-to-world fuel components. So that's really helping us understand hybrids and how they're evolving, and really going to help us with the next generation of high-spec products.
So we'll continue to monitor hybrids as a growth market, and we'll refine the standard to make sure that our products demonstrate capability in the latest hybrid technology by continually learning, evolving, and updating.
So there we have it. HYSPEC sets a new standard for Castrol's hybrid engine oils.